Peter Parker Intern 2 Bruce Banner by 107th Infantry. Chapter 29. Cookies. Peter was deconstructing his spider setup in Lab B the next day, while Bruce sat and watched. He was still a bit weak from being sick, but Peter had been allowed back in the lab. "I can't believe how much data we got, Dr. B. Spiders seem to be one of the best transmitters of radiation ever studied." "Yes, they are incredible. You did a great job on the experiment, Peter." Peter looked up. Bruce was distracted, which wasn't unusual, but this was different. There was nothing in his hands, and he was looking at Peter in a facade of attentiveness. "What's up? You've barely touched your tea. Are you still sick? I can go." "No, it's just..." Bruce paused, breathing out slowly. "Your school starts back up in 2 weeks." "Oh. You really could come back here at any time. I don't think Nat remembered this was a summer thing when she offered to train you, but you could still come around after school a few days a week, if it's okay with May, of course." "Yes." Bruce was enveloped in a hug. He had never gotten better at predicting those. "So you'd be alright with that, continuing your internship?" Bruce asked. Peter pulled back and giggled. "You're crazy, of course I am, but Mr. Stark might have some opinions." "Alright, I'll deal with him while you go up to lunch. Say hi to your little friends for me." He waved to Peter to the elevator while reaching for his rotary phone. It had a sticky note on it that said, "I'm not learning how to use this until you learn coding." After carefully peeling the sticker off, he made the call. Peter arrived at the intern lunch hall like he always did, uneventfully. He said hello to Zara, Emmanuel, Vanessa and Kyle, sitting at their little corner table to eat. "Dr. B says hello. How's your research going, Emmanuel? I heard you found a new way to reduce the chance of combustion." "What he means is, has it exploded again?" Kyle helpfully supplied. Emmanuel's covered face gave them their answer. He finally squeaked out a defeated, "Yes, and not a word from you, Peter. I'll be in the industry soon enough, and you'll probably be running it in 10 years. I've got to prove myself." "You got it," answered Peter. A personal assistant came up to their table. She held out a crinkled sack lunch. "For Peter Parker," she said, placing it on the table. "Hold up, that was the Morse code personal assistant." "Thanks." Peter waited for her name. "Brianne." "Thanks, Brianne." She scurried off to her next task as Peter opened it. There were at least 24 cookies in the package. The other interns, who had long since gotten used to the strangeness surrounding Peter, continued talking. A note was at the bottom of the bag. "Natasha said she'd kill me if you got any skinnier." Pepper agreed. "I hope you enjoy my attempt at baking. T.S. You'll want some cookies." They tasted like they were baked by a child, but the group enjoyed them. Peter ate 6. Chapter 30. Sup, Shuri. Natasha was on a couch in the lab when Peter got back. He gave her a quizzical look and she walked over to his desk. "It's time for your weekly outing with Bruce, but he got up in a meeting. I figured that I might escort you to that little bookshop," she started. "A meeting?" "Yes, with the Wakandan king. I believe they're talking about vibranium exports." "Wait here 1 second. If anyone else had told Nat that, they'd be dead, or at least flipped on the floor." She watched in amusement as Peter ran to pop his head out of the lab door. "Friday, is Shuri in the building?" he asked once he was outside the lab. "Yes, she is currently getting a tour of the public chemistry labs." Peter ran back inside. "Nat, she's getting a tour meant for the public. She's probably bored out her mind. Can we break her out, please? We can bring her to the bookshop. We've got 15 minutes if we hurry." Natasha looked at Peter like he was crazy. She took in his puppy dog eyes and his eager expression. That girl probably was bored. "Fine. What's the fastest way to the chem labs?" "Vents." Months of being told no missions had made Nat eager. "Can someone non-powered realistically use them?" "Yes," she said, leaving the lab and pulling a section out of the outdoor wall. "If you get caught, they'll just think that I brought you along." They made quick work of navigating the building with Natasha leading the way. It only took 5 minutes to get into the ceiling of the chemistry lab. They found a vent in the ceiling, but like all of the ones in the building, it was soundproof and opaque. Nat silently cursed Clint for revealing himself to Tony that one time. It was a lovely prank, but it had revealed many flaws in the system. Peter popped open the vent and stuck his head out. "Sup, Shuri?" 6 spears were in his face. Bruce Banner stared. Tony Stark started giggling. T'Challa, the Wakandan king, put a hand up, stilling the woman with weapons. "Oops!" Shuri was not alone. "Peter!" Shuri grinned ear to ear. "Brother, it's my favourite colonizer. He's come to save me from this terribly boring tour." Black Widow stuck her head down to help explain Peter's presence in the vents. Tony was still laughing, and Bruce had finally cracked a smile. "Nat, I told you to take him to the bookstore." "He wanted to pick up a friend." Peter looked at Shuri and offered a hand. "Ned and MJ will be there. Come on." With very unneeded help from Natasha, they hauled her into the vent. "I'm going too," commanded one of the armed women. Okoye lifted herself into the vent so that there was no room to argue. Unable to resist, Shuri stuck her head back down the vent. "Have fun, brother." He glared at her affectionately. "Keep your phone on. Enjoy yourself, little sister." Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podfic, please take a moment to subscribe, as it really helps me out a lot and you won't miss any future chapters of this fic. Have a lovely day.